Welcome to the Dance to Heal podcast. I'm your host, Janece Cohen. Join me as I share stories of how life is a dance. I'm a cancer survivor, mother of two, and an award-winning performer who found that mind and body connected movement is vital to healing in a way that is safe and tailored to your life. I created Dance to Heal Wellness featuring the Spotlight Confidence Formula and also authored the best-selling award-winning book, Outside In Recovery, Dancing My Way Back to Myself After Breast Cancer. I will bring new ways to help you on your dance journey and healing path. Are you ready to move? Dance to Heal starts now.
Like all the dreams that I had as a kid, I had big dreams. They just didn't matter anymore. I didn't have a voice anymore. I didn't even know what I like to eat or drink or do for fun. And I was like, how pathetic is that? So I started beating myself up more because that's, kind. Total sarcasm. Yeah. So I started trying different things. So I got on a dating app because that was the first thing, get in a new relationship. Newsflash, that did not help. So I started exploring other things. Like one of the things that I always dreamed of was owning a motorcycle. So I bought one. That was the first thing I really treated myself to. And I still felt guilty because that's money I could have spent on my kids, right? And I didn't buy like a brand new Harley or anything. I bought an expensive sport bike, which was what I wanted. But the point is, I started saying yes to myself in little ways. And then I started writing again. I was a ghostwriter for over 20 years. And I decided one of my dreams has been to be a New York Times bestselling author. Have not made that yet, but I am an international bestselling author on Amazon. So I'll get to the New York Times at some point. But I decided to go ahead and release a novel in my own name because I was supporting everyone else's dreams. I owned a company with my ex. It was his dream. I ran that company. I did everything. It's like all of my history was behind the scenes running other people's companies and uplifting their dreams. So I published my first novel in my own name in January of 2021. And in February of 2021, I went to a speaker retreat to support a friend who was speaking. And that weekend, I joked that I accidentally became a speaker because I didn't realize part of the retreat was you were going to give a 5-minute talk. And I tried so hard to get out of it. I was like, that's not what I'm here for. I'm here to support. Well, I did it, y'all. And it's interesting because I never saw myself doing this, but a lot of my message is still my message today. I was still concentrating on the writing, but at that event, I met an image consultant and I leaned into her offer to be typed, which she's the one that typed me as a fire. I leaned into that offer because I was like, oh, well, for author photos or book signings, maybe I should listen to a professional. Had no interest in changing what I wore the rest of the time. I was like, I like my black and gray closet and it's staying. She told me I was a fire and I told her she was wrong. Which in hindsight was very much a fire thing to do. I said, I don't like those colors and I don't think that those characteristics fit me. And she just kind of laughed, which now I understand why. And I said, fine, to prove you wrong, I'll wear what you suggest for a week. And she laughed again. And again, I totally get why. So I put on a top and lip color she suggested, went to meet the rest of the group for lunch. And the person I was there to support stopped mid-sentence, turned around and looked at me and went, you look amazing. This person did not take attention off of themselves to put it on me. So I was like, what just happened? So I'm looking at the other lady like, did you text her? She did that 3 times during that lunch. Well, then everybody went to the mall to go shopping together. There was, I think, 8 or 9 of us. And that was it was a really cool experience to shop with that many women who were uplifting and like cheerleading each other. Like a few pieces that were brought into the dressing room, I was like, whose grandma's wearing that? And this lady put it on and it looked so good on her. And I was like, whoa, okay. And then I would put something on and they were like, oh my gosh. So I was like, okay, fine. Well, people around the city this was in New Orleans, strangers started treating me different. I was like, she couldn't have texted the whole city. So maybe there's something to this. A couple months later, I went on a girls' trip to Nashville. There were 8 of us in that trip. I got more attention than any other woman on that trip. And it wasn't like the creepy guy at the bar, like, hey, baby, let me buy you a drink. It was like these young 20-somethings in passing on Broadway, like, I love your energy. And I was like, okay, like, And I'm with these beautiful women and I'm like, what? So my friends started asking me, what's that thing you just did? Like, tell me about it again. In less than 6 months, my income doubled, more than doubled. Friends, family, and colleagues started treating me different. Like I was seen, not just looked at. But more importantly, I started to really feel like myself again. My brother probably said it best. He had no idea about any of this, but he was looking at me funny one day and he said, "You're more you than I've seen you in over 30 years. What changed?" And I was like, "I changed the colors I'm wearing." He was like, "Whatever." Like, that's stupid. But that's what happened. Well, going back to that very first shopping trip, this is how I actually got started in it, kind of. I resisted for a couple of years. She told me that very first time after I finished picking out stuff for me, I started helping pick out stuff for other people. And she was like, "Oh, you have an eye for this. Like, you should let me train you." I was like, "I don't want to do this. I'm writing." So I resisted for about 2 years. And then I finally said yes because I started paying her to type family and friends. I was like, okay, this is magic. Like, I saw a big change in my mom and another friend and another friend. I was like, okay, there's something to this. And so I finally said yes to the training so that I could just type them myself. And then I was like, maybe I should take on a couple of clients just to reimburse myself for training. I presented it at a conference and I had 4 women come up to me after I spoke, and it was a brief talk. And they told me, "What you said changed my life." And this one woman in particular, she cried to me for about a half hour. She just very low self-esteem. She was heavier, and she said, "Well, when I lose weight, I'll take care of everything was when I lose weight." And I realized so many of us are when this happens, right? Whether it's losing weight, gaining weight, getting more toned, whatever the case may be. And what sparked it was I was on team at that event and I was finding t-shirts for everyone to take a big group picture. And she said, "You're not going to have a shirt that fits me." Oh, there was a shirt that fit her beautifully. I found it. But the main point was, she was like, "Well, I've lost like 50 pounds, but I still have like so much to go." I said, "Hold on, I need to stop you. Do you realize what a gift you've given your joints, your body, your heart, like all of you, right? Please don't dismiss that. And if you don't want to hold space for you, I'm going to hold space for you." And I started to go into you need to love yourself. And I was like, okay, that's not fair. So let me back up. I said, "Well, if you're not there to be confident in you and to give yourself that space and love you, I will do it for now and you can borrow that from me." And it sparked something where a series of events right after that led me to actually opening the doors to this business, because I realized that this is actually what I'm supposed to be doing. When I look back at things all the way back to childhood, like the pebbles were there leading to this road. And I do believe this message is important. And I do believe that, like, y'all, I get to hold the mirror for you to see how beautiful you are from the inside out. Like, how magical is that? And I get paid to go shopping for people. Like, that's kind of cool too. So, yeah, I mean, I didn't mean for that to be as long as it was, but that is how I got here.
I love that story. I loved how you shared with us the kind of where you were at when you started on the journey of understanding what your gift at this time is, and how naturally it was already in you and it just got a little bit more sculpted by the person you got the training from. Because I know I really loved the answers you gave me on things I was wondering about during my analysis, because I was drawn to rose gold. Hey folks, I only wear silver now. Like, and it's been such a huge difference. Sometimes your colors can be part of that self-love for yourself. When you know what elevates you and you're wearing those colors, it gives you permission to start putting yourself first. I don't even know how to explain it. I come from a culture, there's no such thing as individuality. Being Asian American, I know Jewish, you think I'm Jewish, Janece Cohen, hi. But being Asian American, growing up in the States, I had a culture at home, Amy, that was always, "Oh, you as the individual, we're not so important about that." Because whatever you do reflects on the family honor, reflects on being Asian when you step out of the house. And to be able to separate from that conditioning and be like, actually, yes, I can reflect well for them if I just take care of me first versus worrying about the world at large. We're at a part in our lot, in like the life in this reality right now, wherever you're listening to, it can feel like the world is heavy. And you can lighten the load by taking care of yourself first. Because the stronger you are, the more your message of positivity can shine through. And the clothing and the colors actually help you do that, don't they, Amy?
Absolutely. So to expand just a little bit, I took the training that I received in that modality and got certified in some other modalities. I'm constantly studying other modalities of image consultant work and systems. And I combined it with my educational background in psychology and some intuition. Like, so it's a culmination of all of these things because I want to be, well, I want to help be that reflection that allows you to truly see yourself in that way because it is so important. And even what you just described, like when our families or society puts these burdens on us, you're not responsible for that. You are okay. So I have a lot of theories. One of my theories is, especially for women, we're taught to be the best at everything, right? Be the best mother, be the best wife, be the best cook, be the best house cleaner, be the best soccer mom, be the best at your career, be the best at literally everything. And then, so women are being quote unquote catty. This is why, in my theory and in my opinion, I believe that we're so ingrained with this, whether it's direct or indirect, be the best at everything. And then maybe you don't resonate with someone, or maybe there's some kind of little conflict between you and someone else, or they remind you of your shadow side, whatever it can be. And you're looking at her and you're like, she's a better dancer than me. Okay, well, I can't let anybody see that because then they're going to see that I'm not the best dancer. So, did you see what she was wearing today? Or did you see her haircut? Or I think that's how cattiness happens because we're projecting our own insecurities because we don't want our friends or our people to notice that person's really great at that thing. Y'all, there is no way, that's exhausting. You cannot be the best at every single role you play. It took a long time for me to be able to do things that I knew I wasn't great at, like singing, not great. I just did karaoke on stage with a live band in front of like 30 people, and it was amazing. I was not great, but it was so much fun, and the vibe and the energy was great. Am I ever going to get paid to sing? Probably not. And that's okay. I actually rapped. But anyway, same difference. I love to paint, love to paint. I am not ever going to get paid to be a painter, but it's something that I enjoy. And it's okay to do things you're not the best at because there is one job you have, in my opinion, and that's to be the best you that you can be. Be the best you. Show up, like share your gifts and talents with yourself, with your friends, with your family. Going back to the affirmations that you listen to every day, I have a couple of exercises that I like to give out or encourage people to try. One kind of goes along with that when you're, with the self-talk that we all have, right? When you have that self-talk going on and it's negative and tearing you apart and, oh, you're so stupid, you're so lazy, you're so whatever. Stop yourself. It takes a while, it takes practice. Stop yourself. Y'all, I did this. It was one of the hardest things I did, but my life changed whenever I got it. Stop yourself and ask, would I talk to my kids this way? Would I talk to my mom this way? Would I talk to my best friend this way? Would I talk to my clients this way? Whoever you love, name 4 or 5 people or groups of people you love. Would I talk to any of them this way? Chances are it's going to be a no to every single one of them. If you wouldn't speak to those people that way, you have no business and no right speaking to yourself that way. So then you redirect it. What would I say if this was my best friend or my client or my child? What would I say? And start talking to yourself differently. And it's like a light switch. Things change. The other thing is, I love the affirmations. I do it a little different. Look at yourself in the mirror every morning, every night, right? Before bed, when you get up, look yourself in the eye. It can be very uncomfortable at first, especially if you've never done this kind of exercise. Give yourself 3 compliments. At least one has to be on your physical appearance. So when your eyes go to that place you don't like and you start that negative self-talk, redirect. That's not what we're looking for right now. We're looking for what you do like, what you do love. I don't care if it's the same thing every time. Oh, I love your hair. I love your hair. I love your hair. Like it can be that. It could be, I love your hair. I love your smile. I love your heart. It could be any of those things, at least one physical thing every morning, every night. It could be different things. It could be the same things, whatever you can come up with. If you do that for 30 days, I guarantee it'll change your life.
I'm going to add to that. If you have difficulty doing it, go to danceandheal.com and get my virtual free gift. Dance first and then do it. It'll be a little bit easier because some of us have an inability to look at ourselves in the mirror. Some of us have dysmorphia, which is that we just distort everything we see, and it is actually very hard to look at yourself in the mirror. I'm one of those. I'm a dancer, and I have a difficult time in the past seeing myself like my true self in the mirror. If that makes any sense. I just raised my hand. I don't know why. So then, when I dance and I get that hold of what I've been conditioned to see when I look in the mirror. I let that hold go, and then my wonderful audience. Amy has a gift for you, and what you're going to do is go to Embody Your Element. I'll spell that out. EMBODY, and then YOUR, element, ELEMENT.com/3, the number 3, secrets. And that's our gift. You can even go to the description in this episode and get that link. Tell us about this wonderful gift accessible there, Amy.
3 secrets to look and feel great. So it's 3 quick little secrets, 3 quick little things that you can do, change, or look at just a little bit differently to get you started to looking and feeling great. A lot of my peers believe the fake it till you make it, right? If you wear this fabulous outfit, then you'll get confidence. I don't subscribe to that belief. I believe that beauty is an inside out process. And I believe that when you feel confident, you look even better. I believe when you feel great, you look even better. So I believe it's a inside out process. Basically, they go together. But yeah, and I love what you added to dance beforehand. Body dysmorphia is far more ingrained in so many of us. And the truth is, unless you have a perfect built to your measurement statue of yourself, you have no idea what space you take up in the world, because you only see yourself in a 2-dimensional reflection or a 2-dimensional photograph. And you don't even see your whole face, right? You might see the tip of your nose, but you don't even know the space your nose takes up. So you're looking in the mirror, tearing yourself apart by standards when you don't even know what space you really take up. Can I leave you with one quote that I love? I don't know who to attribute it to. I've been trying to find out. You are so used to your own features that you don't know how beautiful you look to a stranger.
I'm making a heart, and the AI is making floating hearts on my screen because that's a perfect message to end on. Audience, you are so used to your features, you have no idea how beautiful you are to a stranger. Amy, thank you so much for coming. I think you're going to have to come back for part 2 because, with your permission, I wanted to ask for your analysis of like random people, random famous people, and what they wear. We'll block off their heads. I just got this download. I hope you're open to it. And just kind of be, some suggestions of what worked for them and what didn't work for them. It's not a humiliation thing. It's just more of an example, because sometimes we learn better by seeing what works and what doesn't work. I mean, I'll gladly even pop up my pre-consult with you and my post-consult with you so people can see how different my face looks even in the pictures. We could even, I think I have some screenshots of your consult when we were doing the color analysis so people could better understand it. Now, I did the online study course with you. Do you have one? This recording will air about mid-November. So do you have anything launching end of November, early December, January that the audience members can join in?
So I will. I don't have the dates right now. Right now I'm prepping for my first virtual one-day event, which is November 5th. So there might be replay options for that, but I will have my next masterclass or something like that scheduled. So I'll give it to you. So by the time this airs, we'll have that date.
You'll have that. And then audience members, aren't I a speaker for your event?
For my summit, yes.
Yeah,
My
for your summit.
summit is October 13th or 17th. And yes,
So
you are
it'll be after the launch of this episode. It doesn't matter because either way, you want to get on Amy's mailing list. So that gift that I was talking about, that is at embodyyourelement.com/3secrets. The link is in the description, and we'll also add in her November summit, so you can also opt into that. Any exposure you have to this will only give you more tools, audience. Amy, thank you so much for coming. We'll see you next time, everybody. Bye.
Thank you.
Thanks for listening to the Dance to Heal podcast with Jenny C. Cohen. Come back next time to hear stories of inspiring triumph and learn more ways that you can heal yourself. To work with me and continue your journey, visit danceandheal.com. Are you ready to move?